How you trim the butt ends of materials you have tied in and how you bind them down makes a difference. Here's an example of how to trim correctly. I'm holding this marabou up at around a 45-degree angle. If I hold the scissors parallel to the hook shank and make a smooth cut, I'll cut a nice taper into the marabou. Now I'll wrap it. In contrast to the tight wraps used to create a thread base on the hook shank and to tie in materials, I'm going to use wide open wraps to bind the loose ends down. Barber pole style wraps crossing back and forth will catch the fibers and trap them against the hook. If I were actually tying a fly, I would be placing more materials over the hook shank so the remaining fuzz won't make a bit of difference. You can see that I now have a nice taper with the thinnest portion near the eye. Creating a taper with an angled cut works much better than cutting the materials off straight. Now you can see that the ends are pretty well lined up. What will happen is that I will get a body that goes from thick to thin pretty quickly. You can sometimes get away with a straight cut with small amounts of collapsible materials like marabou. This is much more pronounced with materials that don't collapse as easily. Here is a clump of craft fur cut straight. I cut it off the patch like this and haven't done anything to make the butt ends uneven or tapered. You can see right here that I hit an edge. It's very hard to create a smooth transition. All you can really do is to build up the thread in front to create a ramp up to the thicker material in back, which is not ideal. Here's the same bunch of craft fur tied in with more of the butt end sticking out. You can trim before you tie it onto the hook if you prefer. I'm going to pick it up at an angle and cut with the scissors parallel to the hook shank. And you can clearly see the taper. Now, as I wrap through this, it will tighten down into a nicely tapered body that will be easy to add materials to as I tie the rest of the fly.